Okay, so this video is like a very general Q&A. I am going to answer a few questions that I've been getting very regularly on my videos and Instagram and my messages and inbox and all. So a few things that people have been asking me is like, especially the people who have completed their 12th right now, like should we take physiotherapy as a profession or not? Secondly, how did I complete my master's, or how did I apply for my master's in the UK? How did I get my HCPC registration? How did I get a job here in the UK? So I am just gonna make a video about all these questions. So I'm not gonna take a lot of time. Let's just dive into the video. First of all, for all those people who are asking me whether you should take physiotherapy as a profession or not, as a physiotherapist myself, I would say 100% why not. A lot of people are even telling me like we do want to become a physiotherapist, but our relatives are saying like there's no much scope in this profession and you're not going to earn a lot. I think everyone goes through this phase where your parents, relatives, friends and everyone tell you, you know what, don't become a physio because there's no lot of scope here. They call you like oh, you do massages, because people are not very much aware about the profession as well. They tell you you're not going to earn a lot of salary. But I think if you have good knowledge, if you are very skillful, and if you enjoy what you're doing, then why not? I think in every profession, you need to have good skills, you need to have knowledge about your profession, and you need to enjoy what you're doing as well. If this is something that you think that okay, I can do, then definitely go ahead and become a physiotherapist. Now I do understand that the salary is a little bit less in India right now. So for a newly graduate who has just completed their BPT or bachelor's in physiotherapy, they earn anywhere between 15 to 18,000, and people who have done their masters, the starting salary is anywhere between 25 to 35,000 if you're working in a hospital or in a clinical setup as well. I am assuming, I don't know about the clinical setup after masters, but I do know you do earn like 25 to 35,000 in a hospital as well, in a hospital in India. So this is not just the option. Even after all this also, you can still have your home visits, you can still have your own clinical practice as well, set up your own clinic. Along with that, you can even work as a consultant physiotherapist in different hospitals. And I would say don't listen to a lot of people, just think what you want to do. If you think this is the correct thing for you and you think that no, I can do my best in this profession, then why not just take it, I would suggest. And do not, if you keep listening to a lot of people, you're always going to be confused, and there's always going to be some or the other problem in every profession. It's not just physiotherapy. In every profession it is like that. But as I said, if you're someone who has a good knowledge about what they are doing and who has good skills as well, you can definitely earn money, and yeah, you can survive definitely. Secondly, how I completed, like how I applied for my master's here in the UK is, first and the foremost story, it's like a short story. Like I never had an intention of applying first of all to come to the UK. My parents did tell me like if you want to apply, and I was on a strong point that no, I want to practice here in India, I don't want to go away from home, because I have lived in a hostel for like 4.5 years for my BPT, so I don't want to go away from home anymore. I want to be at home. But later on during my internship, a few of my classmates and friends, like they suggested like try and see, why not, just apply and see, what's wrong in applying, you don't have to take a decision now. So I went through the process. How I applied is I did everything on my own. Basically I searched for a lot of universities and all, and then there is this famous consulting agencies as well, so I spoke to a few of them as well, and they also told me about, like sent me emails about different universities, what I can choose and all. I went through the websites of all the university. I went through the modules or the subjects that is involved in the masters, and selected a few universities that I liked, and then I applied. I just directly went to their website and I applied. Now there are few things that you need when you're applying, like your supporting documents and all, like 10th certificate, your 12th certificate, degree certificate if you have. Not if you don't have your degree certificate, because in most of the universities you get the degree certificate after 1 year of completing your degree, so you can then just use your mark sheets. Then you need to write something called as a statement of purpose, that is about your own interests and hobbies and you as a person, and why are you applying for the masters to that university, and what are your future plans, and all of that you need to write in your SOP or the statement of purpose. Along with all of this, I applied to multiple universities. I did get an offer letter from all of those universities. And then I thought to myself, like, okay, why not? So if I have got an offer letter, let me maybe just try and like see, explore and see after going to a different country. So I chose one of the universities which I liked. So I studied at the University of Salford in Manchester. And after all the procedure and everything was done, so you have to pay like a deposit amount initially to book your seat once you accept the offer. And then then they have like sort of an installment plan and all, if you want to pay in installment the rest of the fees, or if you want to pay all the fees together, you can do that as well. And yeah, that's how I applied for my masters in the UK. So the first city that I lived in the UK was actually Manchester. Currently I'm not living in Manchester. I live more towards Kent, London there now. So I don't live in Manchester now. But if anyone wants to apply for a master's in UK, then this is the procedure, basically how you do it. Like, you can even go to the consulting agencies, but you need to be very careful in this. Some of the consulting agency do ask you for the money, which is not correct. Usually consulting agencies do not take any money from you for the application procedure and applying and all. It's because they get the money from the universities for getting in students, so you don't need to pay anything to the consulting agency. You can take help from them for the application procedure and for applying for your visa and all of that. But I think if you are able to do it on your own, like I did everything on my own, you can still do it, because the application forms and everything is already there on the university website. You just need to fill in with your own information and all, with your marks and everything. Just upload your SOP. So everything can be done at home if you are willing to do it. If not, then you can take help from the consulting agency. Just be very careful that you don't end up with any other scams and don't end up paying any extra money to the consulting agencies. There are multiple options actually. There are multiple good universities here in the UK. But one thing that I would say here is, because the master's course here in the UK is mostly 1 year, and some of the students do take masters like pre-registration. The difference here is, a lot of people don't know, is in pre-registration and advanced physiotherapy masters is, for advanced physiotherapy masters, for someone who has done their bachelor's in physiotherapy itself, the pre-registration in physiotherapy is usually taken up by the people here who have not done their bachelor's in physiotherapy. So I do have a lot of colleagues who work with me who have not done their bachelor's in physiotherapy. So they do their bachelor's in different other subjects like BSc Sports Science, BSc Exercise Medicine, or Sports Medicine, or anything like that. And then they apply for a master's in physiotherapy, which is allowed in this country. So after you have done that in bachelor's, they apply for a master's in physiotherapy pre-registration. So it's basically, they teach you everything about the physiotherapy course in the 2 years master's course. But for someone who is from India or any other country like that, and who has done like a bachelor's or a DPT, in some countries people do a DPT degree as well, which is a doctorate in physical therapy. So then you can directly go for an advanced master's, which is for 1 year. And very important thing here is, in advanced masters also, the majority of the time that you learn here is mostly about research. It's a lot about research. There is other subjects as well where you do the practicals and as well, but the majority of the concentration that they like is on research. So that is about the master's degree that I applied for here in the UK. Thirdly, how I got my HCPC license. So there's again a little bit of story here. So I did not know that I can apply for this from India itself. So when I came, it was still COVID time going on. I came here in 2021, and I had already paid so much of money for the tickets and visa and fees and everything. So I didn't want to irritate my parents more, asking more money. So what I thought is, I would apply for the license after coming here to the UK. But I would suggest for everyone who is planning to come here, please apply for your license from India, because they do take time. So if you applied from India, by the time you come here, then you can even work as a physiotherapist part-time, which some of my classmates when I was in masters did. They already got their HCPC license back from India, and because of which they could actually work here part-time as a physiotherapist, which I couldn't. So so I came here in September 2021, and then I saw everyone had already applied for their HCPC license. So I got scared and I thought, okay, let me apply. and then I applied in the month of January 2022. But unfortunately, what happened is the mail that from the people that I was supposed to get, like the letter and everything, they forgot to put my reference number into the reference letter, because my application reference number of HCPC, they forgot to put it into the reference letter from the institute, and because of which my process got very delayed. And it got so delayed that and at that time there was no online procedure. In 2022 January, it came around, I think April or May 2022 something, they started with their online portal, which is going on, which is better now than the post one. So I had posted them the application form and everything with my documents and all in the month of January, and I got a confirmation email in the month of March asking for the payment or the scrutiny fee which they take. So I paid for that in the month of March, and then in the month of June I got an email from them that all the other procedures of your license is done. We are still waiting for a reference letter from your institute, which we have not got. So I did try calling them multiple times, and they told me that they have already sent it. And in all this chaos, by the time I actually got my license, it was October, and I was in a state where I was like, oh god, I'm going to finish my masters, I haven't still got my license, what am I going to do? And crying one day, I called my parents and I was like, if I'm not going to get my license now this month, I'm coming back home, I'm done with this nonsense, I don't want to do it anymore. And then as soon as I told this to my mother, the next week I got my license. And I didn't know that I had got my license. So I had spoken to them that day. I still remember the date. It was the 26th of October. And I had called them at their customer care line, and I told them it's like, the year is gonna get over, I haven't got my license yet and all that thing. And they were like, okay, we are gonna do it, don't worry, you'll get your license and all of that. And I didn't know, as soon as I kept the call, they had actually done it, and I had got an email saying that your license is approved and this is your number and license number and all. Because I was crying obviously, and I was disappointed and sad about everything, I did not check my email as well. After 1 week, I was just like scrolling through my emails. That's when I saw this email. I was like, your license is approved. I was like, when did this happen and why did I know about this thing? And I was so excited. I called my mother and I was like, you know what, I finally got my license. And then the procedure of job seeking started. So now I'm going to tell you that how I got a job here in the UK. It's definitely difficult, not only now, even then in 2022 also it was difficult, because obviously I did not have any UK experience. I had Indian experience. I did work in Mumbai at that time, and after which I came for my masters in 2021. So then I started applying for the procedure. I was not doing any part-time job or anything. I was just at home because I wanted to concentrate on my application procedure and all, and I wanted to get a job as soon as possible. So I kept applying and applying and applying, and every time I kept applying, in some of the places, they don't even return your email, like, what is wrong and why they are not selecting you or anything. And my applications kept rejecting, and I was so tensed, and I was crying and upset and disappointed. And I called my mother again, and I was like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I don't know why am I not getting a job. Like, am I doing something wrong, or is it my application or my CV? What is wrong with me? I don't know. And then one day like this, in the month of November, I remember I was just again, I was in my room and I was again going through the process of applying for jobs. That's when I opened LinkedIn, and I I saw this advertisement on LinkedIn about this job in the clinic where I work currently. And I thought, okay, let me just try and see. I'm not really, I don't know whether I'm going to get it or not, but let me just apply and see. And then I applied, and within 1 hour, actually, I got a reply back from my present clinical director, like, would you like to have like an informal chat? It's not like a formal interview, but we're gonna have like an informal chat with you first, and then we'll let you know about the interview procedure and all of that. And I said, okay, why not? I was nervous because I didn't know what to expect, and this was my first time. So, and at the same time, actually, I got my application got accepted at another NHS trust, and they called me in for an interview as well. So both of them were going very parallel. So I had like an informal chat with my current clinical director and everything, and she told me about everything, how the clinic works and this and that, and what I can expect and all of that. And she did tell me, like, we did have a very good conversation. Actually, it was supposed to be like a 15-20 minute informal chat, which turned into a 45-minute talk. And after which she told me, like, if you would like and come down to the clinic one day, you can have a look around the clinic, how we work and how are things here and all of that. And I was like, okay, that's not a bad idea. Let me, like, have a go and have a look and experience how it feels and all of that. So then in the month of December, around my birthday, I still remember, I wanted to celebrate my birthday with a few of my friends who are in London, and I told them, okay, anyways, I was going to go there. So I told her, okay, in the month of December, I'll come and I'll visit the clinic. And then the day I was going to visit the clinic to have an experience of it, it started snowing. It was snowing so badly, and I was like, oh God, am I going to reach there or not? But somehow I took the bus and train and everything, and I reached the clinic. And then we again had a talk and all, and then I had a look over the clinic. I spoke to the other clinicians there and other staff members who work there and all. And overall, I got a very good vibe, actually. And the one thing that I had told her while we were having like an informal chat and everything is, the thing which is very important for me is working in a very in an environment where I can feel more peaceful and I can do my work, rather than too much of office politics and all of that. And she was like, okay, then this is the perfect place for you, because we are like a small team and all, and everyone is very helpful, everyone is very good and all of that. So that's why I spoke to all the other clinicians and all, which was very good, and I got a very good vibe, and I thought, okay, this is good and this is something I would like. And at the same time, as I told you earlier, I had got a call for an interview from one of the NHS trust, and I gave an interview there as well. And then they selected me as well after the interview, and I was like, okay, now I got 2 jobs. So then, but I selected this one. I liked the people around there and all, and I liked the entire environment of the clinic and how they worked and all of that. And then we had like a formal interview as well, all the practical rounds and all of that, and everything was done and all. And then I joined. So because it was December, most of the private clinics, they don't work in the last week of the December because everyone's on a holiday and all of that. So I started working there in the month of January 2023. And yeah, so that's it. That's how I got a job in the UK. And I think if you guys want to apply for a job in the UK as well, you can either apply for an NHS trust, you can apply for a private clinic as well, everything either through LinkedIn, or you can apply through the NHS portal as well. There is NHS portal through which you can see all the jobs and everything there, and you can do your application procedure and all of that. So anyone who is very disappointed about not getting a job currently and who is in the UK right now, I would say just hang on there. I got it, so even you can get it. So don't be too tensed. You will definitely get it. These were the most of the questions which I was getting, like about how I got a job and I did my masters and all of that. And lastly, one more thing that a lot of people do ask me is, what is the scope of physiotherapist here in the UK? So it's not bad. Obviously, it's not bad. Whoever wants to apply can apply. Just it is getting a little bit more difficult to get a job is because of the recent visa changes. But there are a lot of people who are getting a job. So I don't think that you should get very disappointed or anything. And there's no harm in trying. So do not just give up very easily. Do try and see and apply and see, because I have heard this from a lot of other people who work here as nurses and all, that there is a lot of vacancies going on in the NHS as well, because I don't know why, because of the visa changes and everything, I think. And a lot of NHS trust are hiring a lot of physios. So I would suggest that if you're here in the UK, then apply and try and don't get too disappointed. I hope that answers all the questions here. Thank you.